Greetings from Mesa United Methodist Church of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We hope this message will be meaningful and relevant to your life and your relationship with God. We invite you to join us for worship on Sunday mornings. Our traditional service is at 8:30 a.m. and at 11 a.m. we gather for contemporary worship. More information may be found at our website, mesaviewumc.com. Now may you be blessed through the reading and hearing of God's holy word.
Our second scripture reading is Isaiah 43, 16 through 21. The reading may be found on page 632 in the Old Testament. Thus says the Lord, who makes a way in the sea, a path in the mighty waters, who brings out chariot and horse, army and warrior. They lie down. They cannot rise. They are extinguished, quenched like a wick. Do not remember the former things, or consider the things of old. I am about to do a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The wild animals will honor me, the jackals and the ostriches. For I give water in the wilderness, rivers in the desert, to give drink to my chosen people, the people who I formed for myself, so that they might declare my praise.
So back in August of this year, we had a weekend. We brought in a consultation team to look at our church, talk to many of you, hold some workshops for part of the Healthy Church Initiative. And at the end of that weekend, they laid out 5 prescriptions of things that we were supposed to be working on. And I know that we haven't done a great job in relaying lots of the things that have been taking place over the past year. But the Leadership Council decided, since we were having a joint worship service, that this might be a great time to update you on where we are in the Healthy Church Initiative process, and the things that have already happened, the things that are happening, and the things that are yet still working through. So what we're going to do is read through each of the 5 prescriptions, and then we'll have a brief introduction. Unfortunately, some of the other people who would be here reporting, Hank Humiston, Deb Humiston, somebody else I'm forgetting, Jerry Lightline, are not here today. They are out of town this weekend. And so I will be providing that information for them because I tend to overfunction. That's one of the things I do. So one of our first prescriptions was to offer one or more small group opportunities to people who attend the 11 o'clock service by November 17th. These small group opportunities must have an identified leader who invites others to attend via personal invitation. We have not gotten that yet. The biggest reason was finding somebody to oversee small groups, not just for the 11 o'clock service, but for the entirety of the church. But I am happy to announce that Amy Levan has agreed to oversee our small group ministries, and she has just retired, and so now has lots and lots of time to dedicate to the congregation. And lots of help she will need as well. And so Amy and I will be working in these next few months, and by the fall we will have our small group ministry beginning and moving forward. Another prescription was to offer church-wide activity that allows both services to come together to fellowship at least 6 times a year. And this should be implemented by January 31st, 2016. Today is one of those opportunities. Actually, since the HCI report was done in August, we've had 6 opportunities when we have had things going on for people to come together as both worship services in order to get to know each other and be in fellowship. Our goal is to have one opportunity every single month. We're not there yet, but 6 out of 8 months is not too bad. Deb Humiston will be overseeing those opportunities as we go forward, but like Amy, Deb will need some assistance. She had somebody else who had volunteered, who's now backed out of that. So Deb is not here to talk about some of those opportunities, but we will be working on those, and Deb will need assistance, not just to help put it on, but also ideas. What do you want us to see us doing for the church so that we can learn to get to know each other better? In addition, Jerry Lightline is now overseeing what we're calling our congregational care team, who will be delivering communion to shut-ins, visiting people who are shut in, visiting people who are sick, following up with people who are in hospital or rehabilitation, the prayer shawl ministry, all those will fall under the congregational care team. And so this will expand the possibilities of what we're able to do for each other, providing meals, lots of different ways to reach out to people that we know who are in need, not just in congregation, but also ways we can serve people who are peripherally involved in the congregation, or somebody you just know who is sick that could use a visit or a meal, somebody to express that we know that they are hurting and in need of assistance. So you'll be hearing more about that in the next coming months as well. We were called to intentionally invite the parents of the Mesa View Christian Preschool to attend worship services and fellowship activities. For example, an annual trunk or treat would be a great opportunity to invite the preschool students and their parents. In partnership with the preschool staff, brainstorm ways to include parents and students of the preschool in worship service at Mesa View. Develop plans to offer parents of preschool children at Mesa View a substantial discount to Mesa View Christian Preschool. We actually already offered a discount before this prescription was made, so that was an easy one to check off right at the start. But we have been more intentional about reaching out to the parents of the preschool, and also more intentional about reaching out to you to let you know of things that are taking place at the preschool, such as the Trichathon, the Fall Festival, which we invited them to, graduation. And so we would like to, and the open house that we held really specifically for us, so you could come in and meet the teachers and see what the preschool looks like and what's going on. So we would like to increase not only invitations to the parents to come and be with us and the children, but also for us to be more involved with the preschool. Now that Anne Marie, who is our preschool director, sort of jumped into the fire right as school began this past year, now that she has a year under her belt, you'll be seeing more of her. She'll come into worship and talk about what's going on in the preschool. And we will be working more in coordination of how we can make those boundaries less boundary-like and having the families here. But that also means that if we invite them to worship, we have to be prepared and to be able to deal with large numbers of small children, which would involve all of us being ready to serve those families as they come in. The Leadership Council, in consultation with the pastor and coach, shall concentrate their efforts in the recruitment and development of a team of 4 to 6 persons, representative of the congregation, who will study and discern a discipleship process for all ages. This process will be developed and communicated to the congregation, with implementation of the new process, including a support structure, should be completed no later than the fall of 2016. This process will be designed to help new people connect with Christ, welcoming and follow-up of visitors, and to challenge current participants to grow in faith and be mobilized into service. And Linda Nash has been heading up our faith development team, and she will be reporting on their work.
Sounds funny. Okay, hi, I'm Linda Nash. I know most of you. As a result of the HCI prescription, the faith development team has met monthly since the fall. Our initial work included doing an inventory of faith development opportunities currently being offered at Mesa View, researching what other churches were doing for Christian education, and analyzing our next steps. We discussed, debated, and prayerfully considered the needs of our congregation to move on to perfection through a Wesleyan model of study and service. The team, which included Linda Bennell, Tom Bennell, Chris Caldez, Hank Humiston, Pastor John, and myself, decided on a 3-phase process for Mesa View for our pathway to discipleship. The phases are explore the Word, learn the Word, and share the Word. Explore the Word is an introduction to Mesa View, the United Methodist Church, and Christianity. Learn the Word is a deeper development of faith, an expanded understanding of Christianity, and telling your faith story. Share the Word is how we live our faith in the church and in the world. We published the Intentional Faith Development Through Education in Connection brochure. You may have seen it. To communicate opportunities for the people of Mesa View, this information was included on the church's website. We offer many Sunday school classes, Bible studies, music and fellowship opportunities, and reading through the Bible in a year. In addition to this brochure, which is updated and available on the welcome table, you can find this information on our website. You get there by going to mesaviewumc.com, then clicking on the Faith Development tab at the menu running across the top. Once you click there, you will find a list of classes broken out by when they are offered. So we have classes on Sundays and then also classes during the week. We are looking into alternative learning opportunities as well. Some alternatives to attending in-person Bible studies are things like online classes and online discussion boards. The website will have links to online classes offered through the United Methodist Church. There's actually an amazing array of classes offered through the worldwide church and other partner organizations. We will advertise for these classes when they become available. There are several classes starting in the fall, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in the fall. So there's several classes, the online classes that will be starting through the United Methodist Church website in the fall. All right, so the pathway to discipleship has many entry points. If you are new to Mesa View, just started attending church, or are attending for the first time as an adult, you start with Explore the Word. If you feel confident about your knowledge of Christianity, Methodism, or Mesa View, start with Learn the Word. Part of discipleship is to be of service, and there are many opportunities in Share the Word. Keep in mind the pathway, so the pathway to discipleship is cyclical, in that over time, as you share the Word, you will also return to explore the Word and learn the Word. In other words, you're never done. Which, that's part of being a lifelong learner, right? All right, so we have a handout which lays out some of the classes for each section. So it kind of delineates our vision of what we think would be in each of these categories: explore the Word, learn the Word, and share the Word. And you'll probably find as you look over them that you're already involved in some of them. And like I said, the pathway is cyclical, so you get to keep doing so. All right, so these lists are not exhaustive, but are the start of what we thought we could be or might be offered. This is a plan we will work into. Not everything is going to be available come August, but we are moving forward. And this is where you come in. To make the pathway effective, we not only need you to participate in the pathway by taking classes and deepening your faith life, because that's what it's all about, but we're going to need people to lead these classes or teach other offerings you think would benefit the people of Mesa View. Which is part of why I was so excited that the children said, yes, we can teach a class. Because I want you all to know that you can all teach a class. You don't have to be, like me, professionally educated to be a teacher in order to do this. All you need is a little bit of enthusiasm, and now you have the opportunity. So you don't need an advanced degree. All you need is a desire to learn more and to help others learn more. We're also going to need your feedback about where we are on track, or what we might have missed, or where we've gone astray. We do not think we have a final product yet, but we believe that this is the start to intentionally walking the path of discipleship. We believe these are the steps that will help those who are brand new to Mesa View or church, as well as those who have been learning and growing in faith for decades, to continue to deepen and grow in our faith together. We hope that as you take some time to look over the materials, to contemplate them, digest them as you will, and then let us know your thoughts. The final piece is that we need to expand our support structure to oversee the pathway, which will involve augmenting the faith development team. So if you are interested in participating in any way, please speak to me, Linda or Tom Bunnell, Hank Humiston, or Pastor John. And we look forward to growing in our faith together.
So you'll see that moving through as we ramp up for Sunday school and adult learning and all learning opportunities in the fall. So Mesa View should bring in an outside consultant to determine other potential ways to help reduce the debts. By January 15th, develop training and plan giving to be provided by the congregation by February 1st. And Don Coates, who's chair of our finance committee, will talk about that prescription.
Thank you, Pastor John. Well, implementing this recommendation was assigned to the Finance Committee by the Healthy Leadership Council and Leadership Council. By way of background, on September 30th of 2014, Mesa View United Methodist Church had a mortgage balance of $358,500 and was making a monthly payment on principal and interest to U.S. Bank of $7,050. Pastor Nash negotiated an arrangement with the Texas Methodist Foundation that took effect October 1st for a restructure of our mortgage that featured a one-year interest-only payment of $2,500 per month, significantly improving our cash flow requirements and enabling us to eliminate past due debts of $7,500 to the New Mexico Conference, pay off $1,875 of installment loans, make $6,000 in long-delayed facility repairs, and invest $11,000 for the installation of mandated automated fire alarm systems in the annex and office complex, and establish a savings account that now has a $5,000 balance. On November 1st of last year, Mesa View began making monthly payments of $4,980 in principal and interest to the Texas Methodist Foundation. As of April 30th of this year, our mortgage balance is now $842,000. It's being reduced. Mortgage balance is being reduced at a rate of about $2,400 a month and should be about $825,000 by December 31st of this year. I remember when I started here, it was over $900,000, so we are making progress. After much discussion, the Finance Committee opted not to bring in an outside consultant as recommended by the Healthy Church Initiative recommendation. Primary reason was the cost of bringing in such a consultant was estimated to be in excess of $10,000. But the Finance Committee has taken the following steps to address the issues raised by the recommendation. We have consulted regularly with the United Methodist General Council on Finance and Administration for their recommendations on how to address these issues. Our balance sheet now reflects an increase of over $1 million in our fixed assets consisting of land and buildings. This increase was the result of an independent assessment by Colliers International based on the market value of the property as of December 8th of last year. This further increases our equity in the property and reduces the ratio of property debt to value. Established a permanent endowment agreement with the Texas Methodist Foundation to allow investment and appropriate distribution of giving by individuals through cash and or property donations, annuities, memorials, life insurance, trusts, or wills. And we are providing guidance through the pastor's weekly newsletter for opportunities to continue to support the church after we've gone on to our eternal reward. It could be as simple as adding one line to your will or estate planning documents, leaving a specific amount or percentage of your estate to the church. If you're interested in joining this John Wesley Society at Mesa View, please speak with Pastor John. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And we have talked with Kristen Levan, who's a member of our congregation and also an attorney who specializes in estate planning. And so we will be offering a class come this fall on estate planning, not only so you can give money to the church, hopefully, in your will, but also how you make sure that your assets are best protected. I can tell you, none of you are as valuable as you'll ever be except on the day you die. That's the day you're worth the most amount of money. And so it is true. So Kristen will talk about how to protect that. We'll probably have some other people in from nursing homes, assisted living, as well as funeral homes, about talking about end-of-life issues in general. So please stay tuned for that. It is a recommendation that Reverend John W. Nash, along with the SPRC, the Staff Parish Relations Committee, read Pastor on Track by Emmanuel Cleveland III. Based on this reading, the SPRC must sit down with Pastor John, evaluate his strengths and weaknesses, and determine what should be delegated to other staff or committee chairs. The SPRC must also develop job descriptions for all paid and key volunteer staff positions, along with an evaluation process. If this has already been completed, then these job descriptions should be reevaluated to ensure they match current job functions. Writing of job descriptions or the evaluation process should be completed by October 31st. And so I'm going to invite Chris Caldez, who is chair of our Staff Parish Relations Committee.
The job descriptions that Pastor John just mentioned have been completed, and that's for all paid staff members here at Mesa View. SPRC currently, we're not claiming to have any authority over any volunteer positions. We're going to leave that up to the nominations department. But in speaking along those lines, we had a survey done earlier this year that for many weeks, where you were able to indicate to the church office or to us if you would be interested in serving any volunteer positions in various functions. If you haven't already done that, I'd invite you to go ahead and do that. You can contact myself or the pastor or any of our SPRC members. We have read through the Pastor on Track, and it's been an interesting process going through and identifying those areas that we feel those of us as members of Mesa View can volunteer to take over some of those tasks that Pastor John does and free him up to do other things. We've had many volunteers step forward. I want to take this opportunity to thank those of you that have. We are going to continue to work in this area and towards this end. If you have volunteered for something up to this point, but you have not been contacted, please be patient. We haven't forgotten about you. We're still working on that. But then again, let me repeat, if you want to volunteer for positions, or if you would like to know the areas where we're looking for people to help, please let me know, or any member of SPRC or Pastor John. Thank you.
The Nominations Committee needs to develop a plan to identify and keep leaders by March 15th. Leadership plan needs to include succession planning. The Nomination Committee should develop job descriptions for key leadership positions along with a set of expectations by March 15th. This is actually the key report that I would report on, as the only committee that I chair is Nominations and Lay Leadership Development. And we are working on those job descriptions. The committee had taken on to assist that, and it sort of became apparent to me that I have a bigger, broader picture of everything that goes on sitting in all those committees, and so much of that work really needs my input on it. So I am working as diligently on those as we can. I do have many of those job descriptions done. But we do need assistance on our Nomination and Leadership Development Committee. We're down to 2 other members besides me. We're supposed to have 6. So if you are interested in serving on nominations, what they do is contact people and say, we have an opening on finance, or we need people to help oversee our faith development team. Who would be a good person in that congregation in order to be able to help us to do that? So if you are interested in serving on nominations and leadership development, please speak with me. And finally, the last prescription was that Leadership Council agenda must include a training on leadership development at least quarterly. And Linda Bonnell, who is the chair of our Leadership Council, will report on that.
Good morning. So the Leadership Council has been doing some really unique and interesting things this year, because that was kind of the spark of, we really should talk about leadership training and all this. I don't know, and we've had some things in the past, but it's a little more formalized now. So we meet every month, and anyone is invited to Leadership Council. We try to put the date in the bulletin. The committee chairs are certainly required to be there. There are certain people that need to be there. And so part of the Leadership Council is every quarter we do a more formalized 20 to 30 minute leadership training type of thing. But every month we do a 5-minute, we rotate around so everybody participates, everybody gets a chance. We do a 5-minute leadership spot. For instance, last month was on servant leadership. So it's just a little bit learning about leadership, but a lot of it's helping us to become better chairmen of how to run a committee, how to organize things, how to do these sorts of things. And so I think it's very exciting, and anybody is welcome to come to Leadership Council and participate in that. And anybody who has something on the leadership side that if you would like to present to our group, just get with the pastor or myself. We certainly can get you on the agenda. So I think that's really helping us grow as leaders. In addition to our Leadership Council training, we're trying to go out and attend some more formalized trainings in the community and that sort of thing. So we had 3 members go to a training in Albuquerque and bring that back to our group. So it was kind of a train the trainer on that leadership topic. We also, at our conference starting this next week in Roswell, we have some folks going, and then we have Muffy is going to be our member at large that's been selected to also go, and there's going to be some leadership training in conjunction with that conference that those individuals will be able to take advantage of and bring back to us. So we're always looking for opportunities for training and to send folks to, bring it back, and so we can progress in that area. We've done a lot of things with our leadership experiences. We've revised the mission statement for the church, which is on the front of the bulletin. We're looking at our vision statement. We are going to be probably doing some strategic planning at the end of the summer. We're going to have a training next month by the pastor. He wants to get in on that, on how we're going to be, how is that going to look, how are we going to be doing this strategic planning later on. It may be like an off-site or on a Saturday come August that we're really going to be looking at goals and objectives and all that sort of thing. So sort of looking at how you run an organization as a church, but doing a little more strategic planning so we can see how we can best move forward. Thank you.
So one of the reasons to update you on this is not just so you know what we've been doing in Healthy Church Initiative, but to help us remember that what we do here on Sunday morning is not just for this hour. This is not the only way that we worship God. And we gather together in order to have this time, but everything that we do should be worshiping God. The ways we live our entire lives should be worshiping God. All that we do as church should be how we worship God. And so all of these areas impact what it is that we do here for this hour. And what we do here for this hour impacts everything else we do. That's why I think that Isaiah passage was what I chose this morning. And on the New Revised Standard says, I'm about to do a new thing. I like the New International Version, which says, I am doing a new thing. That is that God is not working sometime in the past. That's why Isaiah says to us, do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. Don't look backwards, because when you look backwards, the things we remember, we're never as good as we actually remember them to be. And we can never get back there. Even if we had exactly the same thing happening again now, it would be very different than the way it used to be. That we are to be looking for what God is doing here and now and what God is also about to do. And so when we think about this Healthy Church Initiative and what we're doing, it's what the things that are already going on and the things that God is about to do for us. Because the best year of this congregation is not sometime in the past. The best year this congregation has ever had is going to be next year. This next year is going to be the best year we've ever had. And the next year after that will be the best year we've ever had. God is not just about to do a new thing. God is already doing a new thing, here and now, through all of us. So we are called to be the body of Christ, to be the best that we can in order to spread that gospel message to our community and to the ends of the earth. I pray that it will be so in